The day I lost everything, I learned something crucial about survival. It's not about the blows you take, but about how you strike back. I didn't know at first how I was going to do it, but one thing was clear. My ex, Adam, was going to pay for everything he did. I just didn't know how deep his web of deceit went, but that would soon change. You see, Adam had a charm about him that made him the life of the party, the person you always wanted on your team. He made himself everyone's best friend, and then he turned them all against me. At first, it was subtle. Small rumors whispered behind my back, sly smirks from people I thought were my friends. It escalated quickly. By the end of it, I was the outcast of our social circle, kicked out of game nights, ignored during brunches, and completely ghosted on group chats. No one returned my calls, and the only messages I got were from people telling me, in their own indifferent words, that they were choosing Adam over me. What made it all worse was that Adam did this with a smile. He orchestrated the whole thing while making himself look like the victim, like I was the one who had hurt him. He told them I cheated, that I was manipulative, that I was abusive. Lies, every one of them, but they believed him because Adam knew how to play people. He wore his wounds like trophies, gaining sympathy, gathering allies. He was brilliant in his cruelty. I'll give him that. I'd cry myself to sleep at night, not understanding how the people I trusted could be so easily swayed, how they could turn their backs on me without even listening to my side. But after the tears dried, after the sting of betrayal subsided, there was only one thing left inside me: rage. And rage, I learned, could be a powerful motivator. I knew Adam had secrets. We all do, don't we? But Adam had the kind of secrets that left trails, breadcrumbs scattered across the web if you knew where to look. It took a while, but I had time. I had no more brunches to attend, no more social gatherings to take up my weekends. I poured all my time into finding the real Adam, the one he kept hidden behind his charming smile and victim complex. It started with his email. Adam had once been careless with his passwords, and I still remembered the one he used for his Netflix. It wasn't much, but it was enough. I used it to try logging into everything: social media accounts, old forums, anything I could think of. Most of it was dead ends. He wasn't dumb enough to use the same password for everything, but he was careless enough to use variations. And then, one night, at around 3 a.m., it happened. I found an account on a site I won't name because it's one of those dark corners of the web people pretend doesn't exist, a place where people trade in secrets, fantasies, and sometimes much worse. The username was unmistakably his, a combination of inside jokes we once shared and a set of numbers I recognized as his birth date. The profile picture was blurry, but it was Adam. He was careful, but not careful enough. I clicked through everything I could find. It was a treasure trove of twisted desires, bizarre conversations, and, most interestingly, exchanges of money. He was into some weird stuff that his friends, my old friends, would definitely not approve of. There were requests for things that would make anyone blush, offers of payment for things that weren't just illegal, but immoral. Adam had a secret life online, one that was filthy and rotten, hidden beneath the pristine exterior he showed the world. I took screenshots, all of it. Every message, every post, every shady transaction. And then I waited. The next game night was at Jake's place. Jake used to be my best friend before Adam got his claws in him. I knew they'd all be there, laughing, drinking, oblivious to the fact that I'd just found the key to unlock Adam's perfect facade. I dressed carefully that night. I wore the blue dress Adam always said made me look like a porcelain doll. Delicate, fragile. I wanted to show them I wasn't fragile anymore. I strode up to Jake's door, my heart pounding, and knocked. When Jake opened the door, his eyes widened in shock, and for a split second, I saw guilt there. Good. "Hey," I said, flashing a smile. "Mind if I join you guys tonight?" Jake hesitated, but I could hear Adam's laughter from the living room, and I pushed past him before he could say anything. The room went silent when I walked in, all eyes turning to me. Adam's smile faltered for just a second before he put on that fake, pitying expression he'd perfected. "Claire, this isn't really a good time," he started, his voice dripping with condescension. I ignored him and held up my phone. "I think it's the perfect time, actually. I have something you all need to see. The room was deathly quiet as I tapped my screen and cast it to the TV. Adam's face drained of color when his profile popped up, big and bold for everyone to see. His name, his face, his filthy secrets, the messages, the sick fantasies, the shady deals flashed across the screen, and I watched as shock turned to disgust on the faces of the people who had abandoned me. "Is this some kind of joke?" Jake asked, his voice tight. "No joke," I replied, my voice steady. "This is who Adam really is. The man who convinced you all that I was the problem. The man who manipulated you into turning your backs on me." Adam lunged for the remote, trying to turn off the TV, but Jake was faster. He grabbed Adam's arm, yanking him back, and for the first time, I saw real fear in Adam's eyes. "What the hell is this, man?" Jake demanded. Adam stammered, trying to come up with an excuse, but there was no talking his way out of this one, not with the kind of evidence I had gathered. The room erupted into chaos, yelling, accusations, people shoving their phones in Adam's face, demanding explanations. I stood back, watching it all unfold, feeling a strange sense of calm wash over me. This was the Adam I knew, the liar, the manipulator, the man who hid behind a mask. And now everyone else saw it too. He tried to leave, but I blocked the door, my smile cold. "Where are you going, Adam? I thought you liked being the center of attention." He glared at me, hatred burning in his eyes, but I didn't care. He had taken everything from me, my friends, my reputation, my peace of mind, and now I was taking it all back. Jake threw Adam out that night, and the others followed, cutting ties with him one by one. It wasn't immediate, but slowly, they started to reach out to me. Apologies, explanations, excuses. I listened, but I didn't forgive. Not yet. They had chosen to believe Adam's lies without ever giving me a chance. That kind of betrayal doesn't just disappear overnight. As for Adam, he disappeared from our lives, his reputation in tatters. I heard through the grapevine that he tried to start over in another city, but the internet has a long memory. Those screenshots found their way online, shared and reshared until there was nowhere left for him to hide. Revenge, they say, is a dish best served cold. But for me, it wasn't about serving a dish. It was about reclaiming my life, about showing Adam that I wasn't the weak, fragile girl he thought he could break. And as I watched him crumble, his carefully constructed world falling apart, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. But there was something more. Something I hadn't expected. As I put my life back together, as I reconnected with some of the friends who, after a lot of groveling, I decided to let back into my life, I realized that the revenge hadn't just been for me. It was for them too. They had been manipulated, lied to, used. Adam had hurt them, just like he had hurt me, and in exposing him, I had freed them from his grasp. I thought that was the end of it. I thought I could finally move on, put Adam behind me. But then, about a year later, I got an email. It was from an address I didn't recognize, with a subject line that made my blood run cold. "We need to talk about Adam." Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. The email was short, just a few sentences, but what it said sent a chill down my spine. "You don't know me, but I knew Adam. He hurt me, just like he hurt you. But there's more to his story than you realize. He had secrets you didn't uncover, secrets that involve you. If you want to know the truth, meet me." There was a location and a time. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. What secrets? What could possibly be left that I didn't already know? Part of me wanted to delete the email, to forget it and move on with my life. But another part, the part that had hunted Adam down, that had exposed his lies, needed to know. So I went. I showed up at the small cafe listed in the email, my heart in my throat, half expecting Adam to be there, waiting to ambush me. But instead, it was a woman I didn't recognize, but who looked at me with a mixture of sympathy and determination. "Claire?" she asked, and I nodded, sitting down across from her. She took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly as she slid a folder across the table to me. "My name is Emma. I was involved with Adam, not by choice. He blackmailed me, and I think he might have done the same to you." I frowned, opening the folder. Inside were pictures. Pictures of me, taken without my knowledge, without my consent. There were notes, too, scribbled in Adam's handwriting, detailing my routines, my habits, things I thought no one knew. He was obsessed with you, Emma said quietly. Even after you exposed him, he couldn't let go. He talked about you all the time, about how you had ruined his life and how he was going to ruin yours. He had plans, Claire, plans to hurt you in ways you couldn't even imagine. A cold fear settled in my stomach as I looked through the folder. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. Adam might have been gone, but his shadow still loomed over me, and now I realized I wasn't just fighting for revenge, I was fighting for my safety, for my life. Emma looked at me, her eyes filled with a haunted determination. I want to help you. I want to make sure he never hurts anyone again. I nodded, my mind racing. Adam had underestimated me once, but I wasn't the same person I had been back then. I wasn't afraid of him anymore, and now, with Emma by my side, I was ready to finish what I had started. This time, I wasn't just going to expose Adam. I was going to destroy him once and for all.